Back when I was still making speeches to college students before the lockdown, I used to sometimes remark that young women seemed to me to be absolutely miserable. I would then, of course, ask any young women in the audience who disagreed with me to let me know what they thought during the question and answer period. Not one woman ever corrected me, and in fact, more than once, women got up and told me I was right. Young women in this society are miserable. Well, I thought of this when I heard about this poor lady soccer player, Sarah Fuller, who was used as a publicity stunt during a men's college football game. As I understand it, Vanderbilt, which has not won a game all season, was short players because of the Chinese virus, so they brought on this poor kid to gin up some sort of interest in their lousy team. She kicked the ball a mere 30 yards. They say it was an intentional squib kick, but strategically, that doesn't actually make any sense, but never mind. She then ran off the field before she could get hurt. Now, I'm not saying anything against this young lady's athletic abilities. She's apparently a top-tier women's soccer player, and good for her. But she actually came out afterward and told reporters she had made a locker room speech to the team because she was angry at their lack of enthusiasm. And for those of you who don't know anything about sports, a one-time 30-yard kicker who makes a locker room speech would have to be a woman, because if she were a man, the other guys would beat the crap out of him. This is no way to treat a lady. It's condescending and it's insulting. It reduces an excellent athlete to a freak show anomaly for the purpose of a sick leftist neurosis that hates the human race as God made it. Every signal women receive from this twisted, broken society we're in, every signal they receive tells them that if they follow the dreams of womanhood, they're nothing. Only male success is success. Only male values of strength and career and competition are the right values. It's a disgusting assault on the feminine, which is half of human life. Sarah Fuller knows she can't compete on a field with comparable male athletes any more than a female swordswoman in the Middle Ages can compete against comparable men in a real-life battle. So now she has to make believe she's something she's not in order to earn the mock respect of people who despise what she actually is and would dump her the very second she disagreed with their crap politics. We need to take a closer look at the social mechanisms that allow a small group of angry, twisted perverts to set the social rules that ruin the lives of young people and strip them of the great and uplifting consolations of being men and women, the masculine and feminine halves of the crowning work of God's creation, humankind. The condescension and lies about women is part of a larger topic, but let's start with this, because we're back in this politically correct world where what matters is not who gets appointed to Joe Biden's cabinet, but what color they are, what gender they are. And now apparently he has an all-female press team, and my goodness, isn't it historic? Here is the press talking about the fact that all the girls will be giving us the news. Cut 7.
Joe Biden breaking a new barrier by announcing an all-female White House communications team.
Joe Biden this morning is moving on with this transition, including trying to make good on this campaign promise to diversify the White House with that first, the all-female communications team.
After weeks of delay, today President-elect Joe Biden will finally receive his first top-level intelligence briefing, and he's already pushing ahead on his campaign promise to diversify the White House with a first and all-female communications team.
Mr. Biden also announced his new White House communications team. It is a diverse, all-female group, including several mothers of young kids, according to newly named Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who's an Obama alum. Kate Bedingfield was tapped for White House communications following a similar role in the campaign.
It's an amazing picture when you look at it all together. Thank you very much, Nicole.
So it's diverse because it's all women. But of course, but by the way, the Babylon Bee had the great headline. They said Biden all-female communications team won't tell nation what's wrong. Nation should already know, which is great. But, you know, obviously Trump has had women in high-level positions, though his communications team isn't all women. It has always been led by women and is led by women now. But more importantly, you're looking at. You're looking at George Stephanopoulos, who silenced women for a living for Bill Clinton. He went to a Jeffrey Epstein party after Jeffrey Epstein was already convicted of abusing young women during the Hillary Clinton campaign. The story of Jeffrey Epstein was killed on the news, in the news department. He runs. He's the head of the department. during Hillary Clinton's time. Listen, here's Amy Robach. I just want to replay this. We've played this a number of times, but it's worth replaying. It's Amy Robach caught on tape by Project Veritas. She was on a camera, and they got hold of this footage. This is an ABC anchorwoman, Amy Robach, talking about the Jeffrey Epstein story that was spiked during Hillary Clinton's campaign in the news department run by George Stephanopoulos, who once told Hillary Clinton, "I love you, Hillary," and made a career out of silencing women for Bill Clinton. And no one has ever asked George Stephanopoulos what he had to do with this. This is cut 19.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything.
They had Clinton, they had everything. George Stephanopoulos' news department quashed that story. No one has ever asked him what he had to do with that decision, even though he made a career silencing women. At NBC, they killed the Harvey Weinstein story. Harvey was out there raping women. They killed that story while they were covering up the story of Matt Lauer, who was grabbing every intern he could get his hands on at NBC. And then they timed the release of the Donald Trump story about his Hollywood Access tape. And then women took to the street over that. So women are being manipulated. Here is Dana Perino, who is universally regarded as one of the nicest people in the business. Here she is talking about the way conservative women are treated. This is cut 20 on the 5.
This is the first. If you think of last week, the new DHS secretary will be the first Hispanic Americans, the first. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you think you want to get a quick hit in the media, you know exactly how to do it. Conservative administrations typically don't do that. Mm-hmm. And also, as conservative women, you just are like, you know you're not going to get the glowing profile, so you just get your done.
Right.
She then caught herself. When the nicest person in media starts to curse, you know what it means. Women are being played. They are just being manipulated by this party who celebrates them but doesn't serve them.